Hello, good evening. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions, and I have a great topic for you. Now, did you know that if you have a spouse who's mistreating you, that an ex-spouse, so that's what's going to be different about this live here. I'm going to be talking about the situation where you recently got divorced from a spouse who mistreated you. You may not have your papers and you may have already terminated the marriage. And you may have heard about VAWA, which is how you apply without your spouse who's mistreating you. But you may have the misconception that it's too late for you because you have already filed for divorce. I'm here to tell you that that may not necessarily be the case, and I'm doing this live here so that if there is still hope for you, you can watch this, understand that you have hope, schedule the consultation with me, and we can confirm you qualify. If you have been divorced for less than 2 years from a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, and that spouse mistreated you, that mistreatment is what led to the divorce, then you could still apply for relief, your own green card, your own work authorization while you wait for the green card without involving this ex-spouse. The ex-spouse is now in the past, in your rearview mirror. Now you are just applying for a process that you will sign the papers, you will be in charge of your own process. This ex-spouse will not be contacted, they will not be notified. No, they don't need to sign anything, and you will be able to move forward and be able to get what you deserve. Because if you were mistreated by this spouse and then you ended up divorcing, you deserve this form of relief, and it is a good form of relief under this situation. So if you are divorced or you're heading towards divorce, the clock is ticking. Make sure you get started right away by first scheduling the consultation. You should not be taking any action because this is not personalized legal advice. What this is, though, is information to help you understand what you may qualify for, and then schedule that consultation to confirm you qualify. Then once I confirm you qualify, I get started right away. So I've said my piece today. Is if you have an ex-spouse, we're not talking about a current spouse. If you have a current spouse who's mistreating you, you could qualify for this. But today I want to focus on the ex-spouse. If you have an ex-spouse who mistreated you and you do not have your papers, or if you even have your papers, but you do want now to go ahead and get permanent residence, this is what you could do, is you could apply for your own benefits through this form of relief. Now I'm going to go ahead and take questions. So go ahead, drop those questions in the comments now so that I may answer. Thanks for sharing. Go ahead, whenever you see me come on, share this live, tell people about my live, share the videos on TikTok. Go ahead, like, subscribe, so more people are empowered with this knowledge and this information. Especially this type of information where there is a deadline to apply. It's so helpful if you could share this information with them. And on TikTok, go ahead, share the live, share videos that are relevant to, or what you may think is relevant. And that can help people out there to understand what situation they may be in and how they can go about getting help. If you'd like to schedule the consultation, you can always go, in the comments on YouTube, I'm gonna put my phone number and also the website. You can always, and I'm the immigration attorney on YouTube, go ahead and get in touch. There's a scheduling coordinator who's available right now to take your call and make sure that you schedule that consult. You can also do it yourself by going to the website. The website is in the About Us page. And on TikTok, go to the link in the profile, and it is going to all be there for you to be able to schedule that appointment. Now let's go to questions. Will you be in trouble if you only worked for your employee for only 3 months after EB3 green card? It may pose an issue, especially at the if you're applying for citizenship. If that is the case, documentation is going to be very important. The reason for the termination, but most of all, you need to seek legal advice and representation, because yes, that can raise issues if they end up examining the green card, or you end up going for naturalization. That can be a serious question that they can raise. And the kinds of questions that they do raise are related to potential misrepresentation or fraud. So get legal advice and, document that termination, what happened, and so forth. Please, is it easy to get administrative assistant work in Canada? I just joined now. I am not a Canadian immigration attorney, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about that. I only deal with US immigration law. You can go ahead and you'd have to find a Canadian immigration lawyer. Hi there, Fazil. Thanks so much. I hope all is well with you too. So you want to file for parents. Citizen, one of my parents is here on her 10-year. So if she's here on her 10-year, now keep in mind that when you have a visitor's visa, no visitor's visa is going to allow you to stay here for 10 years. Your visitor visa, every time you come into the country, they're going to give you a time limit. However, as a US citizen, even if your parents are out of status here, for example, one of them is out of status here in the US, you would be able to file for them. And you can file for 2 of your parents at the same time. Go ahead, call, schedule, and we can talk more about your qualifications. I'm living in the States for 2 years and get pregnant. Is the baby going to be an American? Yes, that baby's going to be an American. Unfortunately, would not give you any status here in the US, but your baby will certainly be a US citizen. Do I need 2 doses of COVID vaccine before medicals, or only 1 dose is good? It's some vaccines like the Johnson & Johnson is 1 dose. And they, there may be 2 doses required to be considered fully vaccinated, but that's a question for the doctor. Or the pharmacist that's going to give you the shots. They will explain to you what's considered fully vaccinated, because the doctor isn't going to sign off that you're fully vaccinated until they see all the required shots on that vaccination record. All right, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Go ahead, follow me, share the lives, like and subscribe on YouTube, because this is very important information I'm giving. I will be back tomorrow again to go ahead and talk to you about immigration, about issues in immigration. Today, I talked about applying for the green card based on an ex-spouse. That is possible if you have been married for less than 2 years. Then you could possibly qualify for this if that ex-spouse was mistreating you. Can my employer sponsor me? I'm working without permission as an F1 student. So there's a lot going on there, and usually they're very strict about working without a permit. That usually means you can't adjust status, but I can't confirm that. That's where it's going to be important to explore your options, especially before you do anything. Before you take a job, before you work without permission, as a student, that may be in violation of your student status, because you said you're working without permission. That can create issues for you. So I encourage you to get legal advice, because remember, the information I'm giving you is not personalized legal advice, it's general information. All right, if I want to get my American baby passport, will I be able to get even though I'm not American? Absolutely. Your baby, as long as they are a US citizen, is entitled to get that passport. So you will definitely be able to get it. What is the wait time for removal of conditions on the green card? So I am telling my clients to prepare for a 2-year process right now. Keep putting those questions in the comments. I'm here to answer. So put those questions in the comments. A couple I know is planning on overstaying, but will marry different people. Do you think it will work? That's fraud. So it's never ever going to be a recommendation in my book. If they're planning to marry two different people, and they're together and they know those marriages are fake, that's fraud, and I don't encourage it. I only represent real couples and people who are married to each other. I don't organize marriages and I don't encourage people to do that either. Because one of the most terrible repercussions of that is that if they do end up finding out, and these situations can get very messy. What will happen is you'll be subject to deportation, permanently barred from getting a green card. And so is it worth it? It's not worth it. So they should explore legal options. Can my husband file for his kids if his name is not on the birth certificate? Yes. If his name isn't on the birth certificate, you'll have to use other evidence, secondary evidence, or even a DNA test if they order that, to prove that he is the father of the children. Can you travel with conditional green card? Absolutely. But keep in mind that if it's expired or you're going through the application process, you need to be very careful. If you're going through removal of conditions, you need to be very careful about how you approach that. But it's absolute, as a conditional green card holder, you can do anything that a regular 10-year green card holder does. It's just that you'll have to go through the removal of conditions process. But throughout the entire process, you're still a permanent resident. What is the current version? Is the national naturalization civil test is 2008 right now. So I know during Trump, they made changes. They changed it back to the 2008 version. What is the wait time for immigrant visa interviews for Russian citizenship? Warsaw. So while I would have to check on the Russian embassy, all over the world right now, we're seeing wait times ranging from 3 months to over a year. USCIS wants proof we stay together, but we have roommates and he got his name on all things. Any advice? Get legal advice. That's my advice. Your case then is more complex and you should not be doing it by yourself. I urge you at this point to make sure that you get it right by getting legal representation, because if you're getting questions like you need to prove that you live together, that's where you're on the brink of a denial. You are at risk for a denial. I didn't explain, they broke up due to infidelity, but they came up together. So, if I can't speak any further on what they plan to do, it's really up to them to decide whether they're going to do the right thing, and they should get legal advice. Is it true that they don't make swear in same time when you do your citizenship test? So I've had clients that they have gotten their citizenship on the same day. Remember, the citizenship test is the day of the interview. And so the interview, sometimes the officers will schedule it for the same day. I've had a few clients that has happened. Right there after they found out they've passed the test and the interview, the officer says, hey, come back a few hours from now and you'll be able to be sworn in today. However, most of the citizenship tests are scheduled 2 to 4 weeks after the interview. How to work with B1 visa. It just depends. Can you ever get paper if you overstay on J1 visa with 2-year bar? It's possible, but you have to apply for a waiver. So the J1 with 2-year foreign residency requirement requires a waiver, or if not a waiver, and the waivers come in different forms. Can I file for my mom if my name is not on my birth certificate? So it would have to depend on what evidence do you have that your mom is your mom. It's been 8 years since I filed for asylum and they never replied back. What do you think about that? That's where it's time to call the USCIS and figure out what happened to that application. You may have to refile, maybe got lost. It's hard. You would have to track it down. May have to do a FOIA request. A FOIA request is a Freedom of Information Act request. It's a special request that's submitted to the USCIS. If you filed with the USCIS asking for the information they have on file, that could possibly reveal what happened to the application. But 8 years is a pretty long time not to hear anything from them. All right, I'm heading on over to Instagram next. I'm the immigration attorney on Instagram. You can go on TikTok, go to the homepage, and you can click on the Instagram button on the homepage, and it will take you to Instagram where you can follow me and hop on the live when you see me go live. If you don't have Instagram, you can join me tomorrow. Or you can always schedule that consultation. If you have very specific questions, you need to schedule a consultation, and that can also be done by clicking on the link in the profile. Remember that the information I'm giving you is not personalized legal advice, it's general information. So that's where it's very important to make sure you take care of yourself by getting the legal advice you need. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for the love. Now, how is the best way to go about asylum? That's where you need legal advice, because I need to understand what your case is. All right, thanks for joining me. I on YouTube, I am putting in the name of the handle for Instagram. Oh, it's not the Instagram attorney, it's the immigration attorney on Instagram. So it's the immigration attorney on Instagram. Join me there and I will go ahead and continue this conversation. Thanks for the love. Thanks for your time. I'll see you tomorrow at around 4 p.m. Eastern time, where we can continue addressing your questions, or in a minute on Instagram, better yet in a consultation. Have a good one.